Hey guys, it's Stephanie with the Rancher's Homestead. Welcome back, and today is the day I'm so excited to get my hands in the dirt. We are going to start seeds today. So I pulled out the seeds that I want to start today. I'm not starting everything today. I learned my lesson last year. I'm going to wait a couple more weeks before I start my tomatoes, some of my flowers and things like that. But I am getting a bulk of it started today, and I'm going to take you along. So let's get started. So the first thing that you are going to need, or what you're going to need to start your seeds, is some trays. So I just have some trays here that I have filled with dirt. I have little things here that I've used. You can also use, I don't have them with me, but I have things in here. You can also use cups like this that you can fill with dirt. I save these. I just don't have the light space, so I get them started and then I do transplant them into bigger containers before they officially go outside. It is extra work. And I can do a video on how I separate out my seeds once they germinate and put them into bigger containers for you guys to do that added step. This saves on space. So I do them in these small little containers that have 9 little cups in it first. And then once they germinate, I will separate out, if more than one seed germinates in one of these, I will separate them out and put them in the bigger ones. All of these things I saved from last year. So if you are going to be an avid gardener and you're going to start seeds over and over and over again, then it's an investment up front, but then you can just keep saving them. I even save my little tags here that I stick in them, little waterproof tags. And so really all I bought this year was my seeds and then the soil to start it with, the potting soil to start it with. I highly recommend having some grow lights to get your seeds to germinate. That's going to give you the best option of your seeds coming up and germinating. You can do it with sunlight in the window. I just find that they're just inconsistent and you don't have a good germination rate. So we're going to get started with seeds. Some of the things that I'm going to start today is my broccoli. I'm going to start my onions. I'm going to start my peppers. I'm going to start some asparagus. I'm going to start some cauliflowers and some leeks. So most of my things are going to get started today. But I am going to save things like tomatoes and some of my flowers and things I know are going to get really big, and it's not going, I will not put them out until Mother's Day here in my zone, and so I just want to make sure that I have enough space. The thing of it is, last year I started everything at the same time right now, and then I ran into my plants got so big and they couldn't stay under the light anymore because they were so big, and I just didn't have anywhere to put them. And so on nice days I would take them out, but we ended up getting 2 inches of snow at the end of April last year, and I had already moved some things out and it destroyed those things that I did move out. So I have learned my lesson and I won't do that again. So if you can hear, we have a barn being built right now, a little shed thing being built. So I'm doing multitasking right now. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. The first thing I am going to do is my onions. And last year, I started my onions in these, and I put a bunch of them in, and they pop up, and then I went ahead and separated them out, and then I moved them outside. This year, I have a better solution, and you've probably seen it before. This is not my solution. This is just something that I've seen, and I'm like, I'm doing that next year. I just have a tray here filled with soil. I am just going to sprinkle my onions. Here they are. And I am going to spread them all out onto here, and I'm just going to let them pop up all over the place. The thing with onions is that you are going to separate them out anyways when you transplant them into the ground, and so why take all the steps and do all these different things? Less work for you. The other thing that I read that I'm going to try this year is once they start sprouting up, I'm going to go ahead and chop them all off the tops off and let them keep going. This gives you a stronger, bigger bulb when you get them into the ground. So I'm going to try that next year. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my onions here in my hand, and I'm going to try and evenly, I'm going to do all of them because I want lots of onions this year. I am going to evenly just spread them over. And there's really no rhyme or reason, and it doesn't matter because, like I said, with onions, you are going to separate them out anyway. So why do the added work? You know, I am the kind of person that likes to do less work if you can. And then I'm just going to kind of spread them around and put soil over top of them. And I will give it some water, which I don't have any here, so I'll save it to the end and I'll water everything at the end. But, bam, your onions are started. Easy, easy peasy. You just want to make sure that all of the seeds are covered. So if they're not, I might actually get some soil and sprinkle it on the top. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of this soil and put it on the top just to make sure all my seeds are covered. And one thing down. So these are going to go ahead and get watered, and then they're going to go under the light to start sprouting up. Like I said, with these, I'm going to wait until they all germinate and get a couple inches high, and then I'm going to cut off the tops and let them keep growing. And I've heard, I've never done that, so this is going to be the first year that I've done that. I've heard that those are, that makes them really, really strong. And that's what we want. We want some strong starts to get in the ground so that they have their best fighting chance. Okay, so now we're going to move on to a few other things. So what I do is I try and keep mine pretty organized so I know what's what. So I have a ton of peppers here that I want to get started. Okay, so I have a ton of peppers here that I want to get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dedicate a couple of these strictly to peppers. Now, I have this little tool here that came, I don't even know what it came with. You can use your finger and just put a little hole in and stick your seeds in. If you have this, you can use a little thing and just kind of make a little dent in it. Whatever works, there's no rhyme or reason. The big thing about starting your own seeds is I really feel like the lights make a huge difference, and then keeping them moist all the time. That's going to be your best chance for them to germinate. Last year I always put 2 seeds in each little pocket here so that they, at least one has the chance to germinate. Every single one germinated. So I had a lot of tomato plants, I had a lot of pepper plants, I had a lot of everything because everything germinated, which is fantastic. But I really feel like the lights is what makes that happen. Okay, so the other thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you tag everything. So if you don't, you will forget what everything is. So I have banana peppers here, and I'm going to find my banana pepper tags from last year. Okay, I got all my peppers done. So the different peppers that I am starting is banana peppers, jalapeno peppers, an assortment of bell peppers, so green, red, and yellow and orange. And then habanada peppers, and they're supposed to be like a little sweet pepper. And so those are the peppers that I got started this year. And then now I'm going to start some broccoli. Now, the very first year I ever started broccoli, I think I've shared this story before, I started broccoli and I planted one broccoli plant. I didn't start it from a seed. I went down to the nursery, I bought a start, and I went and planted. I was so excited. We love broccoli, and my one broccoli plant produced 1 head of broccoli. I didn't know that. So broccoli, you only get 1 head off of it. You'll get little sprouts off the bottom, but you only get 1 head, and then it's done. So make sure you plant lots of broccoli plants if you like lots of broccoli. So I am going to do at least these 9 little things of seeds of broccoli, and maybe even 1 more. I like to, we eat it fresh, and then I like to preserve it by freezing it and using it throughout the winter. Again, like I did with my pepper plants, I do 2 seeds in each hole just to hope that one germinates. If they both germinate, then I will separate them out and move them to bigger containers at that point. So let's get our broccoli all. Okay, those broccoli plants were the Waltham brand variety. So that is a new variety for me, and they Grateful Harvest sells them. So I got a lot of my seeds from Grateful Harvest. They just live down the road from me. They started a seed company this year. They have so many seeds. And before I forget, they have a really great document that I will link in the description on what seeds by, not by variety, but by, so asparagus and broccoli and beans and all of those things, and then it tells you when you should start your seeds, when you should transplant them out, how many weeks out, and all of the information you need to know for that specific vegetable or fruit, and it's super, super helpful. So I will link that in the description. That's what I am following on when I should do all of these. Okay, so I've done my broccoli. Now I want to get some Brussels sprouts, some asparagus, some spinach, cauliflower, and my leeks done. So I'm going to get those done next here. If I run out of space on here, I will take little cups and do it. I did buy a few extra lights this year so that I can expand my garden and start even more seeds. So we'll get all of those planted, and yeah, then we'll be ready to water. Okay, we got everything all planted and the seeds are in, the ones that I'm going to do today. And now I'm just going to go ahead and give everything a nice little drink of water. And this part is important. Your seeds need to stay very moist while they are germinating. So you want to make sure that they have a good amount of water. And I'm just going to go through, and every single day I'll make sure that they have water and get them nice, keep them moist until I see my little sprouts come up. Once I have all of these watered, then I'll go ahead and move them inside, get them set up under their lights where they'll be there for the next 6 to 8 weeks until it is time to get them out in my garden. We are on our first step to having our spring garden, and I'm so excited for it. I don't know about you, but I cannot wait for the fresh produce to start coming on in, and I don't have to buy it from the grocery store anymore. I hope that this was helpful in starting your seeds, and we'll see you next time. Take care.